I'm trying to hide it, guys. Okay, so hi. I was on a Zoom call today. So I'm on a Zoom call every other Tuesday with my buddy in Wisconsin. It's not in Wisconsin at all. It's in Nebraska. Oh boy. And I was reminded today how important special interests are for the autistic brain. And we talk about it a lot. But trying to cover that light, guys. We talk about it a lot, but I'm not sure if a lot of us know what to do about it, and if we find it to be unreasonable or inappropriate or irrational. And I thought I better go on, and it's like a really good subject, I think, to have to talk about. So here's the story. My buddy, let's call him John, in Nebraska, loves pianos and bicycles, right? Those are special interests. Well, we cheesed him today. I was like, dude, you have very big, expensive special interests. Like right now, he's in the middle of saving for a player on the piano, and that's like $8,000 or $10,000 or something. And it's like going to be years. It's like 7.5 years. He has to figure that out. Okay, so this one doesn't have to do with pianos, although we talked about pianos a lot. He asks all about them. Oh, he also loves fans. That's not big and expensive, but buddy, can't you like paper clips? Those are little. I could buy you tons of them and send them to you. So he loves bikes. He has the first bike he's ever had. He has all these bikes. He wants to get a bike on Facebook Marketplace for $700. Right? He doesn't have the ability to. He also wanted a piano for $253,000. And I said, so I would love that too. But then I'd realize $253,000 is so outside of my ability to afford it, my financial pieces, that I wouldn't even want it anymore. And he's working on that piece, because when his brain wants it, he wants it. So he wants that bike. He wants that piano, and the bike's like 700 something. And he's like, let's buy it. And I was like, but $700 is a lot of money for a bike. Like, you have, so he wants to move 12 bikes from his shed to his garage. And that's not feasible. So, but he thought about it and talked about it and looked like he perseverated on it. And people will call it, he obsessed over it. Know that in the autistic community, these special interests, they do not like them to be called obsessions because it has such a negative connotation. So we're going to say that he really focused on wanting to move those 12 bikes. They thought a lot about where they're going to put the bikes, where they're going to hang them in the garage, but they were going to have to duck. It's a tall family, so they're going to have to duck. The door's going to hit some when they go in the house. The cars are going to hit them coming in. So they couldn't do 12. And he worried about it. It is what he worried about. He woke up in the middle of the night. He went to the garage. He looked at the bikes. He thought about it. He couldn't sleep. He was having a really tricky time, right? Letting it go. Where I think a lot of people maybe that don't understand the intensity of special interests maybe in a brain, they would say, dude, just forget about it. And he couldn't. So they came to a compromise, which was they have 3 bikes. They're going to take 3 from the shed and put the 3 in the garage. They know where they are. I think they're all up now. And this is what he tells me. He said, well, now the bikes are facing, 2 are facing north and 1 is facing south. And I giggled because I thought, I would have no idea what north. I don't know which way they're facing. And I said, is it because they were facing the wrong way? I was trying to figure out why he wanted to move them from the shed to the garage. And he said, I don't know. It like popped in his brain, right? So it popped in his brain. He then thought about it. He couldn't sleep. And you know what? All of us have had this experience. Maybe it wasn't about hanging bikes, but it could have been about a financial situation, a romance. It could be about wanting to buy something, being afraid of something, and like not being able to sleep, thinking about it over and over again, and needing to talk about it. And I know that I'm patient. His family is extremely patient, which is awesome with these special interests, right? He has, I don't know, probably over 100 fans. He's always looking on Facebook Marketplace for pianos. That one was $265,000. Bikes. He just likes them. You know what? I like unicorns. I think about unicorns more than I should for a 46-year-old. Do you want to see how exciting? I have a guy that bought this for me. I'm trying to turn it on, guys. Look at it. It's a unicorn. He found it in a thrift store, and it lights up, and it's pinkish purple, which is my favorite color, and it's unicorn. And at 46 years old, it makes me way happier than it should make me. I didn't lose sleep over it, but you know what? I might. If it fell and broke, I might lose some sleep over it, actually. So, how do we figure this out? I think it's easier in a home to figure this out, harder in schools. So, if we have these neurodivergent brains that have these special interests, how do we figure this out? So, first of all, we want to acknowledge that we know the special interest and that we research it. You know what? I have an office in one of the schools I go to, and it was hot. So I asked my buddy John. I said, "Dude, I need a fan." He said, "What kind are you gonna get?" I said, "I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. I need you to tell me." Oh man, I'm supposed to send him. I'm supposed to send him a picture of it too. Um, and he said, and I said, "Oh, I bought one on Amazon." He goes, "What kind is it?" And I was like, "Holmes, maybe." Does that sound like what? And then you know what I know now that I've known him so long, I'm like, I bet, you know what? I should just know the name of the fan. I know he's going to ask that question. I was like, oh, I saw a bike on the side of the road the other day. What kind was it? I don't know. I said I should have stopped to check it out, right? I said I should have taken a picture, and he was like, yeah, like, what are you doing? So what do we do in schools? We know the kid's special interest. We love it if the kid's special interest is Minecraft. Go buy a Minecraft t-shirt. Make one. But buy, I don't know, the next time you have like a Valentine's Day party, get Minecraft plates. Then talk to them about it. It is their way of changing the channel, and they may get hooked on it, right? That's okay. We could try to teach curriculum around it. The thing is that stomping it out is tricky, because I think when they are not talking about it, when they're thinking about it, there's a certain amount of masking happening. So we have to find that balance between knowing it, loving it, helping a kid through the thoughts, but not squashing it all together, right? My buddy John, he loves pianos too, and he wanted to, okay, there's a play or something in the piano, which means he could put a CD in and it plays. And it played really loud. He wanted to play it really loud, and his grandma said, sure, I'll go to my room. But she got bored in her room and she wanted to come out and do a puzzle. So she came out to do the puzzle, and he missed the cue that now grandma's out of her room, he should turn it down. And I said, so, bud, if it were me, I am overwhelmed by noise, even though I'm a really loud person. I'm overwhelmed by noise. So the tricky part was that he missed that cue. I said, when grandma came out of the room, did you realize you should have turned down the piano? He said, no. And I said, okay, so we have to make sure we say that to you to turn it down. And I said, and if she asks to turn it down right now what are we going to do? Are we going to He goes, I didn't want to turn it down. I said, I know, but you live in a house with lots of brains, and your grandma let you have it on for a long time. And he's like, yep. And I said, okay, so, and I know his brain's not good at like, turn it off right now. I said, I think we need to give you a warning. Like at the end of this song and then one more song, I would like you to turn it down. And I said, and then your brain has to sort of get ready for that transition, right? And right. And then time and patience. We have to work on it with him. We have to be like, okay, so if he starts to get mad, he doesn't want to turn it down, the grandma can sit there and work on it with him. She could go back to her room and then say, okay, we're going to get a little further next time. It's not special. Things around special interests take time, and there's a lot of communication around it. There's a lot of, right, accepting that that's what they love. This family knows that my buddy John loves pianos, bikes, fans, lipstick. Is that all I got? So those 4 things, and that's what sort of surrounds his day. That's what takes up his thoughts. That's what takes up his actions. That's what he spends his money on. You know what? I want to spend all my money on unicorn things and sparkles. Do you know how many sparkle shirts I have? Inappropriate amount, probably for 46 years old, for someone who doesn't wear sparkles during the day. Vegas, wore them all over the place. Tomorrow on Valentine's Day, I'll probably pull out. I have a black and pink one that's probably coming out somewhere. But we have to be really give it time and patience, really understand it, and know that when they're up in the middle of the night, when they're thinking about it, when they're talking about it, when you have to find a compromise, time and patience are your 2 best strategies. And I really wanted to come on and say this today because I think in a neurotypical world, we would say things like, get it together. It's not that important. We're never doing that. There's no compromise. They're fine where they are. And I don't want that to be the words, because that increases the masking of a neurodivergent brain, right? Like, oh, I can't talk about those things. They've made it clear, but that is what I think about all the time. And that is what takes up a lot of my day. That's what makes me happy. And now I can't talk about it or think about it or buy the things I like. So embracing it is amazing and awesome and wonderful. Right. And I know I'm going to get comments that say like, we can't just let them do it all the time. No, you can't let any kid do anything all the time, I guess. So we have to figure out what's best for the family. We have to figure out how the kids feel about it, what sort of things we have to do for them to know we love it and that we're trying. And then in school, I know when I get kids that I work with that are on my caseload and they say they're neurodivergent, especially autistic, I say, oh, what's their special interest? I'd love to know. I said, I've had football, I've had piano, fan, bikes, I've had Descendants, I've had Cobra Kai, I've had trains, I've had unicorns and mermaids. That one was my favorite. I could share all sorts of stuff. But you know what? When I know the kids like it, I research it. I find stuff. I am gifts by love language, so I bring stuff. Like I brought football helmet stickers. I found them at a thrift store. They were 25 cents. There was like 10 packs of them, of old vintage football stickers. And the kid was like, his head exploded. He was like, what? I was like, I know, look at how weird the helmets are. And we had talks about the helmets. Then we had to talk about being different, and different helmets are okay. Like I said, think about sports right now. The different uniforms, the different helmets, the different players, the different the diversity, right? Being different is okay. And the kid really loved that whole conversation. I was like, you can't all be the same. We wouldn't know what team's playing. We wouldn't know who to root for. We wouldn't know what colors are which. We wouldn't, there would be a huge confusion. Everybody needs to be different. And he was like, yeah, like my brain works different. I was like, yeah, so does mine. Mine's in the neurodivergent category. I mean, neurotypical category. Yours is in the neurodivergent category. But I try to teach him how my brain works. He tries to teach me how his brain works. And together we're going to figure it out. And I think if we can just stay there, we're going to do great. It is when we don't realize that our words and actions make it harder for kids because maybe we don't know what we don't know, or we haven't done the research, or we don't have neuroaffirming information, or we don't have temperament information, right? I'm here for all of that. I can help you with all of that stuff, that it's really tricky for these kids, right? I've shared a lot of stories lately about how lots of people are homeschooling their kids, and home is the easiest place to focus on these special interests. But I don't think school is a place where shouldn't pay attention to them at all. I think all kids love things. Like, can't we just say, what would it, name 3 things that you'd love to have in school? What are you interested in? What 3 things are you interested in? What, right? I mean, you could have a whole bunch of stuff. There are some kids that think about it and act on it more than others. So pay attention to those kids. Talk about it with them. Find a guidance counselor. Find somebody on their breaks to change their channel. If they're having a hard time in class, we're going to go on break. We're not going to talk about the things that are happening in class, because then you end up with the kid going back to class still upset. Take the kid and, right, if my buddy John was having a hard time and he was in school, we're gonna go down the music room. We're gonna check out the pianos. We're gonna play some. I'm gonna ask about it, and he's gonna feel better. Okay, guys, I think I've probably talked enough today. Holy moly! So remember to click the like and the subscribe button. It really helps, guys, because I've actually had 2 and 3 people on here. If you want to see more of what I do, right? If you're tuning into me here for the first time, I'm over also on Instagram at Meg Thompson Behavior. Meg has 2 G's. I don't know where 1 G Meg Thompson Behavior gets you. But I'm over there. I'm also here for these longer, right? It's like a minute and a half for a reel on Instagram, and I can't get all this stuff in. And then people ask me all the questions. I was like, I just should have talked longer. So I came over to YouTube to talk longer. So if you're loving the talk, press like. If you're hoping that you get some notification like, woo, I want to listen to her craziness more often, right? Hit that subscribe button. Okay, guys, I love you. 8:00 on I don't even know what day it is. Tuesday? There's a snow day today. And you know how much snow we got? 0 snowflakes. We canceled it yesterday, and there's 0 snowflakes. We had a rain, wind, high tide day today because I live by the beach. Really crazy. But you know what? Loved it. I'm a lover of a good snow day, even if it doesn't snow. Okay. I love you guys. I will be back. Again, have no idea. I did one earlier today. I said I'd be back. Had no idea. Who knew it would be tonight? Okay. Love you guys. Bye.